Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're uncovering the story behind the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a small coin that's captured the interest of collectors for generations. With its detailed design and historical roots, this penny is more than just spare change. Some carry secrets that can make them surprisingly valuable. Let's explore the charm and mystery of these timeless coins. First up, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a significant piece of American coinage that holds both historical and collectible value. Issued in the final year of World War II, this coin stands as a quiet witness to an important period in American and global history. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark during this period, the coin is part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it became one of the most iconic coin designs in United States history. The coin's presence in everyday commerce during the mid-20th century gives it a strong sense of historical authenticity and familiarity. The obverse of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny features a right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, whose image was the first real person ever depicted on a regular United States coin. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty appears to his left and the date 1945 is struck to the right. The lack of a mint mark directly under the date confirms that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The detail in the portrait, even after circulation, remains clear in most well-preserved examples and contributes to the coin's recognizability among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. On the reverse of the coin are two stylized wheat ears curving upward along the left and right borders. These frame the central inscriptions, which include the denomination 1 cent and the name of the country United States of America. Above these inscriptions is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This motto is symbolic of the American ideal of unity and is a consistent presence on many forms of United States currency. The wheat ears give the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny, and they reflect the agrarian foundations of the American economy at the time of the coin's original design. The 1945 Wheat Penny was struck in huge numbers with over 1 billion coins minted across all mints that year. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced more than 1 billion coins, which makes this date among the most common in the Lincoln Cent series. However, the historical context in which it was issued provides added depth. In 1945, the world was undergoing dramatic transformation as the Second World War came to a close. The United States was transitioning from a war-focused economy to one more centered on peace and reconstruction. Coins like this one were used in daily transactions during this time and thus became silent participants in a nation's renewal. The coin's composition is primarily copper at 95%, with the remaining 5% being a mixture of tin and zinc. This was the standard metal alloy for pennies before and after the temporary steel composition used in 1943. The return to copper in 1945 marked a return to normal minting practices as wartime restrictions on copper usage began to lift. The copper alloy gives the coin its distinctive reddish-brown color, which can change over time based on handling environment and storage conditions. The condition of this specific 1945 wheat penny is described as good. In coin collecting, this condition level means that the coin has seen regular use and exhibits moderate wear on its raised surfaces, but most design elements remain visible. A coin in good condition typically shows some flattening in Lincoln's hair and jawline, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may have lost some of their finer details. Despite this, the coin retains a pleasing overall appearance and remains easily identifiable for collectors, especially those beginning their Lincoln Cent collections. Coins in good condition offer a balance of affordability and historical interest. The presence of this coin in circulation for decades before being set aside by a collector or enthusiast reflects its resilience and practical value. It may have been used in schools, shops, and diners, or carried in the pocket of someone working in a factory or returning home from military service. This imagined history adds human depth to the coin beyond its metallic composition. It is a token, not just of monetary exchange, but of everyday American life during an important historical chapter. Collectors and historians alike are drawn to coins like the 1945 wheat penny for their ability to serve as physical links to the past. Each coin carries the potential to spark curiosity about the events of its time, whether economic, political, or social. Coins also help illustrate how the design and manufacturing of currency has changed over time, responding to both technological advancements and cultural shifts. For those who enjoy numismatics, the 1945 Lincoln penny is more than just a collectible item, it is a story frozen in copper. Next up we have the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a classic example of mid-20th century American coinage and is part of a beloved series that continues to captivate collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this coin was one of the final issues in the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series, which began in 1909 and concluded in 1958. The design of the coin was originally created by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it marked the first time a real person appeared on regular issue United States coinage. Over the years, this humble 1-cent piece became not only a medium of daily commerce, but also a vessel carrying history, artistry, and symbolism. The obverse of the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," with the word liberty appearing to the left and the year 1957 to the right. The portrait of Lincoln is distinguished by its clarity and character, and even in circulated condition, many of the facial features and design elements remain visible. The choice of Lincoln for this denomination was significant, as it not only honored his legacy as the 16th President of the United States, but also represented values such as unity, leadership, and moral courage, which were deeply cherished by the American people during the post-war years. The reverse side of the coin carries the classic wheat ear design, which gave the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. To stylized stalks of wheat curve inward along the left and right borders, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, appears along the top. This reverse design is simple yet meaningful, emphasizing both agricultural prosperity and national unity. It remained in use from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. By 1957, the United States was in a period of relative peace and economic growth following the end of World War II and the Korean War. During this time, coins like the Lincoln penny played a central role in everyday transactions, from buying a newspaper or a candy bar to being dropped into public payphones or vending machines. The 1957 penny was a part of daily life, and for many Americans it holds memories of a bygone era where a single cent still had noticeable purchasing power. The coin was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a formula that had been standard for most Lincoln wheat pennies except for the steel cent of 1943. This composition gives the coin a reddish hue when new, which can darken or develop patina over time due to handling, oxidation, and environmental exposure. Because the coin in question is described as circulated, it likely shows signs of age, including light or smoothing of the high points and potential discoloration. Nonetheless, it still carries the visual integrity of its original design. Millions of 1957 Lincoln pennies were minted in Philadelphia, making this coin relatively common, especially in circulated grades. While its market value might not be high, its appeal to collectors lies in its age, design, and place in American numismatic history. Many collectors choose to assemble complete sets of Lincoln wheat pennies, including each year and mint mark combination. And the 1957 no mint mark coin is an essential part of that set. It is often used by new collectors as a starting point because it is accessible and still offers the satisfaction of holding a genuine historical coin. From an educational perspective, the 1957 wheat penny serves as a practical tool for teaching children and students about currency, economics, and history. Handling the coin sparks curiosity about the era in which it circulated, encouraging questions about life in the 1950s and the events that shaped that period. It connects users to stories of the post-war boom, suburban development, technological advancement, and cultural shifts that defined the decade. In terms of condition, circulated coins are typically evaluated based on the amount of detail visible on both sides. In a circulated 1957 penny, Lincoln's hair and jawline may be worn down, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may have lost some of their fine lines. However, these coins still retain their basic structure and are completely readable. They are valued for their authenticity and character rather than perfection. Collectors may choose to store circulated coins in protective holders to prevent further wear and to preserve their current state. While some collectors seek out mint-state examples with full original luster, others enjoy the charm of a coin that has traveled through many hands and has its own untold story. The circulated 1957 wheat penny is a coin that has served its purpose and survived over decades, offering a link to the hands and pockets of people from a different era. Next up we have the 1918 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a historical and collectible coin that reflects both the artistry and the economic circumstances of the early 20th century in the United States. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this coin is part of the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series that began in 1909. It holds significance not only as currency, but also as a symbol of American heritage. During a time when the country was involved in World War I and undergoing significant changes both socially and economically, designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat penny was the first regular issue coin in the United States to feature a real historical figure. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, was chosen to appear the 1-cent coin in 1909, marking the centennial of his birth. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Lincoln with the date 1918 displayed to the right and the word liberty to the left. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." Despite the scratches present on this specific coin, these elements typically remain recognizable even in circulated and worn examples, offering a clear view into the design and intent of early 20th century coinage. On the reverse side of the coin, the design showcases two wheat stalks curving along the left and right borders framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top of the reverse side is the phrase "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many one." This reverse design remained in use until 1958 and was widely recognized by the public throughout its circulation. The wheat design emphasized the country's agricultural heritage and symbolized growth and strength during a time when the United States was asserting itself on the world stage. The year 1918 was a pivotal one in global history as it marked the final year of World War I. The United States had entered the war in 1917, and by 1918, American soldiers were actively participating in combat overseas. The economy was focused on wartime production, and many resources were directed toward supporting the troops. Despite these challenges, the Philadelphia Mint continued to produce coins in large numbers, including over 288 million Lincoln pennies. In 1918, these coins were an essential part of daily commerce, being used for everything from buying bread to paying for newspapers and transportation. The specific condition of this 1918 Lincoln penny includes scratches, which are common for coins that have been in circulation for over a century. These scratches could have occurred through daily handling, contact with other coins, or exposure to various environments over the decades. While these marks may reduce the coin's grade in terms of professional evaluation, they also serve as a testament to the coin's journey through time. Each mark and scratch contributes to its character, telling a silent story of the many hands through which it has passed and the transactions it has facilitated. In numismatic terms, this coin falls into the category of circulated condition with wherein surface blemishes that show its age. Collectors often consider factors such as overall design clarity, the visibility of Lincoln's features, and the sharpness of the wheat stalks on the reverse when determining a coin's grade. Well-mint state coins are highly sought after. Circulated coins like this one offer a more accessible entry point for new collectors and still hold value for those interested in assembling a complete Lincoln cent collection. The 1918 Lincoln wheat penny is also significant for its historical context. It reflects a time when the United States was becoming more industrialized and urbanized, and when coins played a vital role in everyday life. The presence of Lincoln's image reinforced national unity and pride, especially during a period of global conflict. The decision to place Lincoln on the penny was rooted in admiration for his leadership during the Civil War and his lasting legacy as a symbol of equality and perseverance. Although the coin has been affected by wear and scratches, it remains a tangible link to the past. Holding this coin invites reflection on the era from which it came, including the hardships of war, the efforts of the American people, and the evolution of U.S. coinage. Many collectors and history enthusiasts find deep satisfaction in owning such coins, not just for their monetary value, but for the sense of continuity and connection they provide. Next up we have the 1950 RAREST Lincoln wheat penny is a classic example of mid-20th century American coinage and reflects the continued legacy of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. This coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint as denoted by the small S mint mark located just below the date on the obverse side. The 1950 RAREST penny is part of a long line of wheat cents that were issued from 1909 to 1958 and is one of the last Lincoln wheat pennies to be minted before the change in reverse design to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. The coin, in good condition, maintains the essential features of its original design, though some moderate signs of circulation may be present. The obverse of the 1950 RAREST Lincoln wheat penny features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait was the first depiction of a real person to appear on a circulating United States coin, and it has remained largely unchanged for over a century. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription "In God We Trust," while to the left appears the word "Liberty," and the date 1950 accompanied by the S mint mark is placed to the right. The image of Lincoln is still clearly defined in coins that are considered to be in good condition, although there may be light smoothing on some of the finer details, such as Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and hairline. On the reverse side of the coin, the wheat ears flank both sides of the design, curving inward to frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," which means "out of many one," and symbolizes the unity of the American states. This reverse design, also created by Brenner, is simple yet iconic and celebrates the agricultural heritage of the United States. The wheat ears are generally visible even on coins with moderate wear, and they offer a strong visual connection to a time when agriculture was a dominant force in American life. The 1950 RAREST penny was struck during a period when the San Francisco Mint was still producing circulating coins, although this would end just 2 years later. Over 100 million 1950 RAREST Lincoln pennies were minted, which means that this coin is not considered rare, but it is still valued for its historical and collectible significance. Coins in good condition, such as this one, are often sought after by collectors who are looking to complete year and mint mark sets, or who enjoy studying the various minting characteristics that differ slightly from one mint to another. One of the important aspects of this coin is its connection to the economic and social landscape of the 1950s. The United States in 1954 was in a period of post-war economic growth and prosperity. The country was experiencing increased industrialization, expansion of suburban communities, and growing consumer culture. The coinage from this period reflects these changes with stable production levels and consistent designs that emphasized national unity and continuity. Coins like the 1950 RAREST penny circulated widely in the hands of Americans who used them in their daily transactions to buy goods and services in an economy that was transitioning into a modern consumer era. While this specific coin is described as being in good condition, it is important to note that in numismatic grading, good typically means that the coin has seen significant circulation, but all major design elements are still visible. There may be some wear on Lincoln's facial features and on the wheat stalks on the reverse, but the overall shape and inscriptions remain clear. This level of wear tells a story about the coin's journey through time and commerce, passing from one pocket or cash register to another for decades before ending up in a collection. For collectors, the 1954 wheat penny offers an opportunity to own a piece of American history without requiring a large financial investment. It holds appeal for both beginner and experienced collectors who value coins not only for their rarity, but for the story each one carries. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete sets of Lincoln wheat cents from all the mints and every year as a way to trace the evolution of the coin and the history of the United States over the span of 5 decades. The coin's composition is also notable. Like other Lincoln wheat pennies struck between 1909 and 1980, to the 1954 coin is made of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% being a combination of tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin a distinctive reddish hue when preserved in optimal conditions, although coins that have circulated typically darken over time due to exposure to air and handling. A coin in good condition may still retain some of its original color, especially around protected areas near the lettering and design elements. Storing and preserving a 1954 penny is relatively easy and important to maintaining its condition. Collectors often keep such coins in albums, holders, or capsules that prevent further wear and exposure to elements like moisture or air that can accelerate oxidation. While this particular coin may not be rare or especially valuable in monetary terms, its significance as a historical artifact cannot be understated. It represents the values of an era and the resilience of a design that has become one of the most recognized in American numismatics. Next up we have the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a significant piece of American coinage history and holds value both for collectors and for those interested in the economic and cultural context of mid-20th century United States. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark, the 1946 wheat penny represents the first full year of post-World War to coin production in the United States. It was a time of transition and renewal when the country was adjusting to peace. After years of global conflict, coins from this era like the 1946 wheat penny carry with them stories not just of commerce, but of the shifting landscape of a recovering nation. This coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design created by Victor David Brenner. This design was introduced in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth and was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person. The depiction of Lincoln remains one of the most enduring in all of American numismatics. Above Lincoln's head appears the phrase "In God We Trust," while the word "liberty" is inscribed to the left and the date 1946 is positioned to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, which was standard practice at the time for coins produced there. The reverse of the 1946 Lincoln penny features two stylized wheat ears on either side of the coin, which give the series its name, the wheat penny. Between the wheat ears are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while the phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning "out of many one," appears above. This reverse design, also by Brenner, remained in place from 1909 to 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The wheat design is simple but effective, symbolizing the agricultural foundation of the nation and its people. The condition of this particular 1946 wheat penny is described as having a dark shade. This dark coloration is typically the result of oxidation or exposure to moisture and air over an extended period. While this may affect the coin's eye appeal for some collectors, it also serves as a marker of age and authenticity. Many circulated coins from the 1940s have darkened over time, especially if they were not stored in protective environments. Despite this dark tone, the coin can still maintain strong detail, both its obverse and reverse designs depending on the extent of wear and environmental impact. In terms of mintage, the 1946 Lincoln penny saw an extremely high production with over 1 billion coins struck in Philadelphia alone. This high mintage means that the 1946 penny is not considered rare, but its historical context makes it a valuable piece for collectors who appreciate coins for more than just scarcity. The massive output also reflects the robust post-war economy and the government's effort to meet the coinage demands of a population transitioning from wartime rationing back to consumer-based activity. Coins like the 1946 wheat penny played a vital role in the everyday lives of Americans. They were used to buy food, newspapers, bus fare, and countless other items that made up the rhythm of daily life. Their durability and wide circulation mean they often show signs of age and handling, which adds to their character. A coin with a dark shade suggests years of passing through countless hands and transactions, each one a moment in the life of a growing nation. Collectors often seek out 1946 wheat pennies for inclusion in Lincoln cent albums or as examples of post-war coinage. Even though the coin is common in the grand scheme of numismatics, its value lies in its ability to connect us to a specific time in history. It offers insights into the minting technology of the day, the materials used in coin production, and the wear patterns that develop over time. The 1946 penny is composed primarily of copper, which darkens naturally over time due to oxidation. In coins that are not heavily cleaned or altered, this natural darkening is a sign of authenticity and age. Preserving a 1946 penny with a dark shade requires careful handling. While the coin may not be worth a large amount in monetary terms, especially in heavily circulated condition, it still benefits from proper storage in coin holders, albums, or protective sleeves. These methods help prevent further environmental damage and preserve the coin for future study or enjoyment. The 1946 penny also serves as a tool for education. Teachers, historians, and numismatists use coins like these to illustrate the development of American history, economics, and art. They can show how design elements have changed or remained consistent over time, how minting processes evolved, and how coins reflected the priorities and culture of the nation at various points in its history.